The last question here in this combined section of all of these transformations is graphing, and we've got 4 points. You can see I've actually already written them off to the left there. That's these 4 points, and then we've got some transformation that's happening. So we don't have to find a base function anymore. We're just dealing with given some sort of graph, how can we transform it? So let's start first by writing down what the rule would be. So we can have an x comma y, and we need to transform it. Now I actually can't have this written like this because I need to have the x alone. I need to take the -2 out. So I need to divide this by -2 and divide this by -2. It's called factoring it out. It says factor first. So -2 over -2 is just an x, a 1x, and 6 divided by -2 is -3, plus 1. So our rule for this, for the x's, it says times by -2, so I will do the opposite. I'll divide by -2. It says -3, so I'll do the opposite, and I'll add 3. The y stuff is on the outside. It says times by 2 and plus 1, so I'll do that. 2y plus 1. And now all we need to do is put all our x's through here and put all our y's through here and come up with our new transform point. So -6 over -2 is just going to be 3. 3 plus 3 is 6. And then 4. -4 divided by -2 is 2. 2 plus 3 is 5. Positive 4. 4 divided by -2 is -2. -2 plus 3 is 1. And then 6 into here, 6 divided by -2 is -3. -3 plus 3 is 0. So that's all of my x's. And my y's, -2 into here is -4 plus 1 is -3. And put 1 into here, 2 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. Put a -2 into here, so you get -4. -4 plus 1 is -3 again. And lastly 3, so this becomes a 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. So those are my new points, and I can graph this thing, and we could list down all the different things that are happening to that, and maybe I will, but I'll just do that after. So 6 comma -3, 5 comma 3, 1 comma -3, and 0 comma 7. So this thing has a lot has happened to that. Look at how it originally was and now what it is. So I'll just write down a couple things about what's happening here. Maybe I'll write that down by the rule. So I'm taking my x and I'm dividing it by 2. So this is all horizontal stuff. So I'm compressing it by 2. So horizontal, compress by 2. And then I also have a horizontal flip because it's a negative. And I have a +3, so I'm moving it right. The horizontal direction, a +3, so right by 3. And then I have the vertical stuff. So I'm timesing it by 2. That's an expansion. So I have a vertical expansion by 2. And then I have a +1, so I'm going to go up by 1. Now you could write those numbers, you could do a factor of. So in this case it would be by a factor of 2 and by a factor of 2, so they're actually the same numbers, which is kind of nice. But that's probably how I would write this. So I'll just zoom out in case you need to copy any of this down. And we have one more question left to do, and then we're done this. So here's my graph. I've already written the points down right there. And I have some transformations to it. But the first thing I should probably do is get this alone, factor first. So I'm going to divide by 1/2 and divide by 1/2. So I've got y equals -3 f. Take out the 1/2, and you are left with 1/2 over 1/2 is just x. 1 divided by 1/2. Now whenever you're dividing by 1/2, it's the same thing as timesing by 2. So you -2. Now how do I know that? Well, 1 divided by a half is the same thing as 1 times 2 over 1. So flip the second fraction and turn it to a multiply. 1 times 2 is 2. The bottom is a 1. That's just a 2. So dividing by a half is the same thing as timesing by 2. You end up getting 2. So my rule. Now for my x here, it says times by a half, so I'll divide by a half. It says minus 2, so I'll add it. I did the opposites. For my y, it says times by negative 3, so I'll do exactly what it says, times by negative 3, or negative 3 times y. Now we can clean that up a little bit. Dividing by a half is the same thing as timesing by 2, so this is just a 2x plus the 2, and the negative 3 times the y. So this question right now, I can just take my points and put it into my rule. So 3 goes into here for all of my x's here. So 3 is 6. 6 plus 2 is 8. Again, another 3. 6 plus 2 is 8. Negative 3 is negative 6 plus 2 is negative 4. Oh, and a negative 6. Negative 6 times 2 is a negative 12. Plus 2 is a negative 10. Hopefully it doesn't go off the graph. And then y, I'm timesing it by negative 3. So negative 3 times negative 3 is 9. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. And then again, 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. And negative 3 times negative 3 is positive 9. So these are my new points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, good. So 8 and 9. And then 8 and negative 9. And then negative 4 and negative 9. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then negative 10 and positive 9. Oh, right there. So I get this giant thing. I connect the dots how I wrote them. So top to bottom. So from here to here to here to here. So be careful on how you connect the dots. So that is what my graph looks like. If you want to take pause it and take a look, though the answer key is already there. It's good to write down, just to get in the habit of writing down the rules. So affecting the horizontal stuff. So horizontal, I'm timesing by 2. Horizontal. So I'm timesing by 2, I'm making it bigger. So expansion by 2, or you could say by a factor of a half. And then you would say I'm going 2 to the right, or right by 2. And then the y stuff is a vertical expansion by 3. But then we also have a vertical. My writing is very messy right now, so I apologize, but hopefully you can read it, just listen to what I'm saying. So there's all my transformations there. So the vertical expansion by 3 and a vertical flip. So what's the hardest part about this question? I don't know. If probably dividing just 1 divided by a half might be difficult. Writing the rule as a 2x might be difficult. Or even writing the fact that, you know, this is always being said, you're expanding this by 2, but sometimes you write the word a half, and so that can be difficult. Expanding by 2 or by a factor of a half. So I like this wording though, just expansion by 2. So that's all of those. I will zoom out to see all of them. And so the next section is on, we're going to be doing all of these transformations, and we're going to be doing them towards absolute values. And then after that, we're going to be doing all of these transformations to inverses. So one of the things to keep in mind is that even if you don't 100% know this stuff yet, there is an opportunity. We're going to keep coming back to it. So we're going to learn it again for absolute values. We're going to do it again for inverses. And so by the time we get finished inverses, we've done it another 2 more times. So just keep all of that in mind. Don't get too overwhelmed with this. You're going to need to spend time practicing as well, but you'll see me be doing this, you'll be seeing me do this at least 2 more times, like 2 more lessons, and who knows how many videos those are going to be. So practice, but also don't be too overwhelmed.